So my question was, in the case, this is the picture of the movement of money from excess money holder to the person who needs money, and we are very clear, Auntie May has excess, Sam has less. So can you tell me, this is, suppose, this is option number 1, this is A, this movement, and this movement is B. So for the example that we discussed, what was it? Was it A or B? The movement of money was by this way, or it was by this way, direct? What do you say? Was it direct or it was indirect? Okay. Who is he? Malok. What is your name? Malok says A. Any other student who differs? Malok says that Auntie May gave the money indirectly through this route to Sam. Yani the money passed Abdul Malik. Okay, Abdul Malik Javi. What else? Anyone else? Is my voice not clear to all? Let's have some more answers. So we have one answer from Abdul Malik who says it moved indirectly from Auntie May to Sam. I think he is Sultan Al Fahmi. B. Sultan Al Fahmi says it's B. It moved from directly from Auntie May to Sam. They somehow contacted and met. Now let's understand this, because I am not going to I don't want to try to just keep lecturing. I just want to do it with your participation, and we learn by practice, application. So there are two types of movement we are seeing here. One movement is the movement of money directly from Auntie May to Sam. The other movement is indirectly from the investor to the borrower. Now we see here, that Sam didn't use any intermediary. He went directly to Auntie May and said, see, I need money, this is my project report, please give me the money. So this is the case of direct financing, where the borrower meets directly with the investor. But there was also a possibility that there is an intermediary. It can be anyone, venture capitalist or mutual fund or investment bankers or stock market, anyone, these are all intermediaries. These are what we are supposed to learn in the course about different people. Insurance companies are also there. What do? They are there here in between, whom the plus and the minus. What do? They play the role of intermediary. Now why is it important? What are the benefits of going there? We will just quickly do a summary, but we are going to see in detail. See, what happens is, these are two forms, and there is the third form which is outside this financial system. There is the third form which is unorganized lending and borrowing, unorganized or unregulated. Unorganized or unregulated. We have to understand that also, because across the world and in our country, in Saudi, there is that is what financial sector reforms is. What does it mean? It means that the government wants to have a look, have a knowledge of every transaction that is taking place, every financial transaction that is taking place. Now Auntie May can give money directly to Sam, or you are two friends, you need money, you just borrow it from your friend, start your business, nobody knows where did the money come from, how did you borrow, did you make him a partner, or you just take a loan, nothing is recorded. So this is called unorganized financial system, unregulated, where there is no record of the transaction, of the financial transaction. But is it good? It's not good. Why the governments across the world are trying to regulate? Because what will happen if it is a tax system? The governments will lose tax, because the government doesn't have any knowledge where did the money come from, where did the money go. Even if it is not a tax based system, even then the movement of money is important for the economy. They should know, they have to record and show that this is the money which was invested, this is the output. So unorganized system is not our concern. We are concerned about the system where the investor and the borrower are meeting either in an organized financial market or through a financial intermediary. So we will quickly learn why is it bad to give directly, what are the problems in giving directly in the unorganized market, and then even in the organized financial market, what are the benefits or loss for opting any of the two. First of all, unorganized market, Sam takes money from Auntie May. How will she recover? If Sam runs away with the money, how will she recover? She has no proof. She doesn't have any, proof means what? You have studied business law, Qanun Idariya, and you know that as per business law, any transaction or contract, aqd, is only complete when it is legal, when it follows the legal system of the country. So suppose in here, if you want to make aqd of business, you want to give money, you want to take money, and you suppose even in ijar, you are giving your apartment on rent, or you are taking apartment on rent. If it is not written as per the law, then the law cannot help. The law will say you didn't follow the rules, so you have to carry yourself. We cannot do anything. In order to make any contract legally binding, the parties or the document which is created must be written as per the legal requirements. So in the case of unorganized lending, if Auntie May gives money to Sam, in the unorganized, there is no legal protection, there is no organized system where Auntie May can recover the money from Sam, or if Auntie May asks for more share of the profit, when Sam starts making profit, Auntie May goes and files a complaint that he promised to pay 70% of the profit and he is only paying 50. So these problems cannot be solved in unorganized. Can anyone tell me what do we mean by unorganized? What is the Arabic for unorganized or unregulated system? Munazzam, I think, is the word for. I have to go to chat box. You want me to go to chat box? Okay, let me go. Ghair munazzam. So, ghair munazzam. So you understand? Is this clear? So in financial markets, we are learning in this course the munazzam, the organized system of movement of money from the surplus, from the excess to the deficit. So we have already understood. I think we don't need to go in more detail to waste more time to understand why unorganized is bad. That's over. So we have already discarded two things from our discussion. One, banks. Banks are not included in our discussion. Number two, unorganized system. It's not included in our discussion because we know that it's unorganized. We have no idea, no knowledge how this can be implemented legally, etc. So we are not discussing that. Now we are left with two types of financing. One where Auntie May gives directly to Sam, but within the financial market, which is called the direct financing, where the movement of money goes directly from the investor to the borrower, and the second is the movement of money indirectly from the investor to the borrower. This is, I mean, at this stage today we are just beginning to learn. This is enough. We will go further in detail how does it take place. So one is indirect and the other is direct. There are two parties. One is called surplus here, let's write it here. This is called surplus unit in the financial system. I'm sorry, I'm using mouse. And this is the deficit unit. It's a very common term, in Ulum al-Iqtisad also. Sorry. So this is surplus and this is deficit unit. I mean, if you keep on translating, giving me the Arabic word in WhatsApp group, then I will keep writing here so that we all are easily understanding the terms. So there is here Auntie May is a surplus unit and Sam is a deficit unit. He needs money, she has more money. The movement of money can go directly from Auntie May to Sam or indirectly from Auntie May to Sam. These are the financial intermediaries who can play a role in the meeting of Auntie May and Sam. We will learn that in a while. Right now we understand that either we give it to a broker or the money Auntie May gives it to the broker, and now broker will be responsible for giving to Sam or anyone they will be able to find. Auntie May doesn't have any headache of going and finding the borrower, so he solves that problem. Okay, so let's go back. So who benefits by the movement of money? And we are talking about organized movement, not unorganized movement. Organized movement. There is a book, if you would like to read, book of unorganized movement. There is a book named The Sink, an old book. It was written. This is a very good documentation of the world before 90s. The Sink is a very interesting book. There are other books also, but I personally read this. You will read how money used to be moving in the world from one country to the other in illegal manner, and that is why the world, what happens when it is illegal, suppose, and what was the movement? It notes the movement of money from the poppy cultivation in Afghanistan, and from there it used to come to the Panama and via Africa, and so many countries were involved. The money was moving illegally across the world. Illegal money is very bad for the system, for the world, because people can misuse illegal money. So the governments across the world are trying to, the banking system and the financial system are trying to eliminate this illegal system as much as possible, and for that the digital system of transactions, financial transaction on digital system is making it easier and easier to track and make it. And then there are system from the government that each and every transaction you have to get recorded, and it can be easily done when it is done in the digital system. So we see that the movement of money, organized movement of money from the surplus to the deficit takes place in the financial system, and there are benefits to all of them, and there can be moving directly from surplus to deficit, or there can be sometimes an intermediary who can play a role. He can solve many problems of the deficit and the surplus. What are those problems? Those problems we will be discussing very soon. Okay, so we discussed one part. What is financial system? What is financial market? How is it placed in the financial system? So we understand by now that the financial markets, just two examples are given here. One is the bond, stock markets, then capital markets. The stock market is also called capital market, money market. So financial markets and financial intermediaries like banks, insurance companies, business funds, pension funds, mutual funds. What do they do actually? They connect people such as Sam and Auntie May. In other words, the surplus and the deficit units in the economy together by moving funds from those who have a surplus of funds, like in our case it was Auntie May, to those who have a shortage of funds, it was Sam in our case. So this is the basic role of financial market. Some students in the past class, they translated the text written earlier on the top, is that al aswaq al maliya, aswaq as sanadat wal asham, like bond and stock or money market, etc., all are there. Wal wusta al mal'in. So we have a very important term here, al wusta al mal'in and aswaq al maliya, and these are examples are al bunuk wa sharikat al tamin wa sanadiq wal al mashat at taqadiyah, the pension funds. There are more examples, more financial intermediaries like venture capital are also there, etc. لديهم الوظيفة الأساسية في الحصول على أشخاص مثل سام و آنتي مي معا عن طريق تحويل الأموال من أولئك الذين لديهم فائض من الأموال إلى أولئك الذين لديهم نقص في الأموال. The shortage of funds. Who had the shortage? In our case it was Sam who needed money. It can be anyone. Who are these? It can be individuals, it may be governments, it may be companies. So these all may be there who may have shortage of funds, and the same can have excess also. Okay, so is this clear? We understand the role of financial markets. What do? They help in meeting the deficit and the surplus. Can we move forward? Is it clear to all? So one current example that we can have about the movement and see a practical application of the use of financial markets is the sale of Aramco shares, in 2019, about 1.5 years, just more than a year ago. You must have all studied about the sale of Aramco shares, and yesterday there was a news that it's possible. Did you read anything about Aramco? Did you read anything new about Aramco shares? I will have to again go back to chat box. Okay, no problem. What did you read, Abdul Rahman? Can you just tell? What did you read about Aramco shares? Yes, they will sell more shares in the future. So it's a very good example for us to take the discussion forward regarding understanding the financial markets. What does it mean, selling more shares? So Aramco shares to start trading December 11. So just a example we are not going to go into the detail of stock market, but we are just trying to understand the financial market in general. How is it useful? after the definition of financial markets, the role it plays, let's see how practically we see the application or the use. So, in 2019 November, the IPO of Saudi Aramco was launched. IPO, if you know the full form, just write it, otherwise we will take it up in the chapter on stock market. What is IPO? If you know it already, write it on the group, it's very good, and if you don't know, no problem, that's okay. So, IPO was launched in the stock market. The IPO is the selling of shares to the investors. Now, you tell me who is the deficit here? Who needs money, Aramco or the buyers of the shares? I mean, let's see if you understood the discussion regarding the surplus and the deficit, or you will not listen to me, you will keep writing on the chat. Okay, good, Ovais is right. So, Ovais is right. Aramco is the economic unit or the financial unit who needs money. And who will give the money? Who will give the money? I mean, if you know it, who are the people who are public? Very good. So, there are, if you, let's look at the slide and see who gave the money to Aramco. So, we saw that the share was listed on December 11, 2019. The symbol was given. Again, in a stock market, we will learn more in detail what does this symbol mean, but these are all good information to remember. The symbol of Saudi Aramco in the Tadawul stock exchange is 2222, 4 times 2. It's easy to remember, isn't it? Perhaps that's the reason. It's a very important share because it's the company which was owned by the government, which is owned by the government. So, they are giving privilege. So, this symbol is of Saudi Aramco shares. The public offering, initial public offering, this is the full form of the IPO. What it is, we will discuss in the stock market chapter. It was launched at 32 reals per share. As a result, they raised $25.6 billion US dollars, and they became the biggest IPO in the world. Before that, Alibaba Group, I mean Alibaba was in news these days. Do you know why? Anyone knows why Alibaba Group was in news? I mean, I was reading. Yeah, why was Alibaba Group in news recently? What happened to Alibaba Group? Who is the owner, head of Alibaba? Jack Ma. Yes, absolutely. What happened to him? He was missing, isn't it? He was missing for a long time. So, in the newspapers, he gave some comments, and after that he was missing. So, he was not seen for more than 3-4 months. So, there were so there were speculations. People made guesses that the Chinese government has done something, or so, but ultimately he came out. So, he was in news. So, Alibaba Group was the biggest IPO in the world before Aramco. These are very important information for not just for the course, but as a business students, you are expected to know these things because this is a local issue, local development. The Alibaba Group earned $25 billion from the shares, whereas Aramco at 32 reals per share, they raised $25.6 billion, and as at this rate, at 32, Aramco is the biggest company in the world, overtaking Apple. It is the most valuable listed firm in the world. What is the valuation? $1.7 trillion. At what rate? 32 reals per share. So 1.7 trillion is the total value, out of which they sold 25.6 billion to public. A third of those shares, now here it's very important, who did buy the shares? Who were the surplus or the people like Auntie May? Auntie May was our example. There are people who purchased the shares. Out of them, you see here it's written 0.5% of the shares were allocated to whom? Retail or individual investors, only 0.5%. So the rest 99.5% shares were given to whom? To companies, to governments, to foreign investors, big investors, and the 0.5% were. So all these, as we saw in this picture, all these were involved in investing in the Aramco share. There may be business companies, big business companies, governments, households, foreigners. They had more money, but in the case of the unit who took money, in this case, who was it? Business company. It was Aramco. In our new example, it is the Aramco company who needed money. So who can need money? Anyone, households, business firms, governments, foreigners, anybody can have more money, and anybody, I'm sorry, Aramco will come here, anybody can have more money, or anybody can have a need of money. So financial markets, what they do, they connect the people who have less money with the people who have more money. Did I make clear or confused you regarding the main role of financial markets and institutions? Can we go to the next part, or you want me to, or you would like to summarize in your own words, so that otherwise in the quiz I will check if you understood or not. Can we go to the next part? Now let us come to the next part, that is, what is market? So we saw that there is a market where people like Auntie May and Sam are meeting, they are exchanging funds. Okay, let's stop there. Now let's move forward and go back to a more simple understanding, to the roots, masadir of the topic we are discussing. So for that, let's go back to understanding the market, souk. What is a souk? It's very common. A souk is a place where people can exchange goods and services. Is this anything new for you? Is this anything very complex? I don't think there is anything, for a business student, if somebody asks, can you define market, any taruf or souk, anybody can say that it's a place where people can exchange certain goods or services. And in our case, what is the name of our course? It is topic, it's market for finance, financial market. So one part is clear, that there is a place or group of places where some goods or services are exchanged for money. So here also there is buying and selling taking place in financial markets also. Now if you go back and visit economics or classification of markets in marketing, we will take a classification that divides aswaq into two types. One, the market for products, which is called the product market, and the other is called the factor market. So one is the market for products, the other is the market for factors of production. And one of the factors of production we saw in the example of Sam. What was the factor of production there? Money. capital. He needed capital to start his business. He had idea, he needed capital to start the business. So where will he go to get the money? In the factor market. Now Sam has produced the good, his product is ready. Where will he go to sell the product? In the product market, right? Do you understand? So for taking the money to start his business, Sam will go to the factor market, and when the product is ready to be sold, it has to be sold in the product market. So we have to know this, that markets can be classified into two. One is product and the other is factor market, and obviously we all can very well understand that the financial markets, that is our topic, falls under which category? Product market or factor market? What are we going to learn? Both are different in features. Any wasf or saf of both the markets are different. In factor market, it behaves differently. There are some other mechanism. In the product market, it's different. So our financial market falls under which type? Product or factor? Which category is it? It's factor market, isn't it? It is factor market. Are you all with me? Are you hearing me clearly? Left, what happened? Okay, so you are with me. You understand that the financial market falls under the factor market. Okay. Now to give a more illustration of the factor and the product market, let's look at these two examples. Here there is a market where this woman is selling products to the customer, and here there is a market where job seekers have come, which is job fair. Normally here also in Riyadh, in Jeddah, many times there are job fairs. So in job fairs or job market, who go? People who want jobs, who want to be hired as labor, as employees in companies. And what are they? Are they the final product, or they are a factor of the product? They help in production, or they are the final product? Employees, people, are the factor of production. Similarly, we go to banks or financial institutions to take money. Why? To start our own business. So what is it? It is factor of production. So there are examples of factors and example of the final product. So here you see the final product is being sold. There may have been many factors involved in this product to be launched in the market, in the product market. After passing through all those phases, finally the product has reached the market. So the first comes factor market, factors of production, and then come the final product. So the financial market is a type of financial market, factor market. In a market, what happens? Always, market means what? Buying and selling of something. So here in our case, there is a buying and selling of financial assets. These market deal with financial assets. So we have to understand more in detail what are financial assets. So till so far, what we have covered, we see that there is a movement of money taking place in a financial system. There is a market where movement of money takes place. So it can come from the surplus to the intermediary and then to the borrower, or it can go directly from the surplus to the borrower. That mechanism we have already studied. we have already also briefly seen what is the benefit of the movement of money to the lender, to the borrower, and the overall. Now we are covering the main part, that is what are financial markets. So the first thing is it belongs to the factor of production. Here the final product is not the one which will be consumed for by the consumer, but rather it will be used for something, for buying something. In the consumer market, what happens? In consumer finance, somebody takes the loan to buy a car, a house, or the businessman takes money to start a business. So this means these are all factors of production. So here the factor of production is money, and it is used to make a business or to buy something or sell something, whatever. And second point regarding financial market is what is being sold and purchased, because market is a place where buying and selling takes place. So in this market, what is sold and purchased? Financial assets. Financial assets, or there are other names of financial assets like financial instruments, adwiyat al maliya, or securities, financial securities. All are same names. There are synonyms in a way. They are same names for the term. You may call it financial asset. The only thing is in detail the meaning may be different, but in general the meaning is the same. There is not much difference. So if we ask to define what is financial market, what does it do? It is a platform that facilitates traders to buy and sell financial instruments and securities. It's a market where buying and selling of financial instruments and securities take place. Okay. So what are financial instruments and securities? I mean, how is it related to Auntie May and Sam, or Aramco and the investors? How is it related? That is what we have to understand in the entire course. But to not to go into that detail right now, let's see how does the most standard definition given by International Accounting Standards, what are financial instruments. So we go a step further to see what are financial instruments and securities. Is it loan? Is it shares? It is bond? What is it? It says, if you read in the red on the screen, any contract. So what we see, that these instruments and securities are contracts. It's a promise between one person and the other. It's a contract that gives rise to a financial asset of one entity and financial liability for another. Now, I mean, it's very easy. So coming back, you are all quite knowledgeable in the business jargons. You all understand ittifaq bain shakhs wa ukhar. Yeah. So can you tell me in this definition of International Accounting Standards, first of all, what are financial instruments? It's a contract. What does happen after the contract? Who are meetings? Let's go back to the example of Auntie May and Sam. These are the two people. So what do? They go to a organized financial market. There is a government system where Sam can go and ask for money from Auntie May. They will make a contract. Now this contract will be signed by both the parties. One person is giving money, Auntie May is giving money to Sam, and they write a paper. Both have a copy of the paper of the contract. Now can you tell me for whom there will be an asset and for whom there will be a liability? If it's a loan, there will be a liability. If it's a share, it will be a equity. Just forget that right now, but you say, for whom this will become an asset, and for whom this will become a liability, this contract. Are you getting me? I mean, we will not go into more details today, I'll just stop after a while. So who will give the answer? Okay, assets May. OS says assets for Auntie May and liability for Sam, isn't it? Is there anyone in the class who doesn't agree with OS that it is there all of you agree with OS that for May, Auntie May, it's liability, and for Sam it's asset? Before that, do you all, Abdullah is also agreeing with OS? Before that, let's check with all the students, all 26 of you who are in the class. Do you all understand what is asset and liability? You have already studied accounting, finance. It's the same asset as you studied in the balance sheet, in the company's accounting statements. We all understand what is asset and what is liability. It's the same for all, whether it is an individual. So you all understand what is asset. Suppose you have a mobile phone. Is it an asset for you or a liability? Asset. And if you take a loan from someone, it becomes your liability, isn't it? You all understand this clearly. So because this is very important, that is why at this level the prerequisite for the course should be that you have already completed intermediate accounting, principles of finance, all of them, and mashallah, you are good, you understand this. So let's now go to the next. Let's understand this definition clearly. You all understand the assets, liabilities. So first of all, you have to memorize this definition. What we see here, that in the financial market, in the so-called malia, what is sold? Financial instruments and securities. What is a financial instrument? What is adwat al-malia? It is essentially an aqd. When fariqain, two people are there between whom a paper is signed, an agreement is done. What is that agreement? Basically, in financial market, of money. One gives the money, one takes the money. So in our case, it's, with mithal it will be easier. So we can always remember Auntie May and Sam. In our case, Auntie May gives the money to Sam and Sam takes the money. What happens? A paper is signed in the organized financial market. Auntie May has become an investor. Auntie May say, how much? I want 50% of your share. I mean, I want to become your equal partner in the company. So what does that mean? Na musharika fil idara, what will happen? She will, whenever the profit will be made, she will get 50% of the profit. So this is a future gain for her, not present. Presently she has given the money. She doesn't know whether she will be able to make money or not, but in future she expects fully that she will be able to get money. Similarly, Aramco sold its shares to the investor. A contract is signed between the company Aramco and the investors. This has resulted, this contract is called instrument, the financial instrument. And what happened after this contract was signed? One person became asset holder and the other became the owner of liability or equity. We don't want to differentiate here right now. We just want to see they are one. Okay, we will see later in the chapters, and you may be knowing already, but I don't want to get into that, it will be confusing. Okay, so let's go forward and see what are financial assets, how is it defined. So for financial assets, it is important for us to understand the difference between money and financial assets. What is the difference between cash, naqd, and financial asset? Who will tell what is the main difference between the naqd, financial asset, the instrument, the contract between Sam and Auntie May? There was a paper signed, and Auntie May has money right now. So what is the difference between this paper? This paper is a what? A contract, and there is money, cash. So what main difference do you see between the two? The cash and contract, the cash and the instrument. Is there any relationship? The liquidity, mashallah, quest. Muhammad is exactly to the point. The main difference between financial asset and cash is of liquidity. If I am not wrong, it is called Sula. It is Sula, that ultimately the people, the all individuals, Sula, yeah, Sula. So all individuals in the economic system, they need money. They want money for their ultimate requirement, whether it is personal requirement or business requirement or anything. So this financial asset is a one step before cash. Financial asset is one step before cash. Yani after the liquidity, it becomes cash. So let's look at the definition. An asset is a resource. Financial asset is a resource with economic value that an individual, company or country owns or controls, with the expectation that it will provide a future benefit. So what do we mean? That when we will want to make it cash, we will have to convert it into cash. We will have to sell it, or we have to get it converted. Suppose you have US dollar here in Saudi. Right now you have hundreds US dollars. Is it cash for you? No. How will it become cash? Is it an asset for you? Yes, of course. It's a financial asset. So how will it become cash? When you go to a currency exchanger, you go give your dollars, take real from him. Now this real becomes a cash for you. This is the currency. This is the current money for you. So the financial asset are not current money. They are distant money. The money will get converted into cash in future. And what is the main reason Auntie May converted her money into asset? Why did she give the money to Sam? What was the main reason? What was the main purpose she gave the money? Why did she give her hard earned money to Sam? To increase the value, to take risk and increase the value, isn't it? So financial asset means that it is an instrument or a security that comes from the contract between two people. It may be individuals or households or business or countries, anyone, and there is a future benefit to whom? To the one who gives the money. To one who takes the money, we are not concerned. To the one who gives the money, for him or her, there is a future benefit. Whenever we are not talking about return right now, it may be same money. Suppose I give 100, I get back 100 after 2 years. It is still an asset for me, right? So this is financial asset. So this is all we want to discuss regarding the basics of financial markets today. I mean, it's enough for a discussion for today. Now we will check your understanding of what we have discussed today. Is Thursday okay for all of you to take the first? We need to have quizzes and assignments for the single hour classes. So Thursday is okay for all of you if I open the quiz from the morning till evening? Okay, or you want any other day? It's fine for all of you. So let's have the quiz and see how much did you understand. You can read the textbook also and have a better understanding, and if there is any confusion you can ask me. Okay, now let's take the most important part of the class, that is the attendance. You are all happy with this time, huh? 4 is good, 4 to 5. I think you are all participating also. It's a good time, easy time for all of us, inshallah. Muhammad bin Jabi,
Yes, Doctor, موجود.
present. Rayyan Al-Qarni, present. Khalid asked how many questions will be there in the quiz. It's the first quiz, maybe 10 questions. Don't worry, you will have at least 6 minutes. I always give 6 times time per question. So one question 6 minutes. So 10 questions 1 hour. Okay. Sultan Al Fahmi, Abdul Rahman Zokar, present. Mufra Asiri,
حاضر حاضر.
okay. Saeed Sarda, are you there? Saeed Ahmad, no. Imran Banulunj, present. Imran was not speaking today, he was tired. Asil Gharyani,
ايش موجود.
طيب. Ammar Sami, yeah. Abdul Malik Ajawi, he is present. Osman Abdullah, present.
Yes, present, Doctor.
Okay. Iyad Nujum,
Yes, Doctor.
Rayyan Al Usemi,
Yes, Doctor.
Abdullah Al Harbi,
Yes, I'm here, Doctor.
then Bassam Sami, no. Oh yeah, he is there. I saw him. Salim Asharif,